Eli Lilly CEO Dave Rick speaking on the company's earnings call, urging the Trump administration to negotiate deals on tariffs. The comments come after the CEO attended a meeting at the White House and as the company cut its profit outlook, which weighed on shares. Joining me now, Syed Husain, Brook Advisors managing partner. Syed, great to speak with you here. To what extent do you think tariff deals are really game-changing for a company like Eli Lilly, particularly given some of the other competition in the space that we are hearing about this morning and that is weighing on the company?
Good morning, and thank you for having me on. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. There are going to be significant issues for pharmaceutical manufacturers such as Eli Lilly with the tariffs. Just like any other industry, these tariffs are going to make it costlier. The kind of difference with the pharmaceutical industry is in the United States, most end consumer cost that's paid by consumers is through payers, right? People have insurance. The insurance actually picks up the cost of pharmaceuticals and people pay copays. When these tariffs potentially hit, those costs predominantly are going to have to be absorbed by companies like Lilly. And that's the bigger challenge is how are these organizations set up to absorb these potential additional costs?
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical manufacturing right now, the way to think about it, it's divided up into kind of two segments, right? There's core, tablets, pills, things like older drugs that are used mostly in the United States, 90% of what's used. And then you have biologics or specialty medications. A lot of this started with COVID. COVID brought the issue of onshoring onto the table, and fortunately, manufacturers had started down that pathway. I think these tariff situation is just prompting them even more so to double down and onshore a lot of this.
So talk to me then, what I'm really interested in this morning is looking at a company like Lilly in comparison to Novo, obviously teaming up with CVS on weight loss drug distribution here. And I wonder to what extent the tariff negotiations really matter for a company like Lilly, given that if there is a tariff applied to this industry, it's going to impact every name in the sector. They're still at this moment, when you look at the tape, losing, quote unquote, on weight loss drugs. So which one matters more?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So is it weight loss drugs, are weight loss drug issues for the company going to be a bigger issue longer term for investors?
I don't necessarily think so. I think it's broader issues. I think they're trying to still figure out where they are, in the broad sense, right? They have to assess what these potential tariffs could do to them. They have to look to their entire book of products. GLP-1s and weight loss medications are going to be a significant part of that. But I think they have to look at more broadly in the sense of where they're getting APIs, what their negotiation, contracts are regarding, insurance and other things. So it's not just GLP-1s. It's a lot. I do think, to your point, GLP-1s have a big take on a big stake in that decision.
And Mark has a question for you.
Yeah, the EPS growth that we're expecting over the next few quarters is just like fantastical, right? I mean, that's why you see the stocks doing so well prior to today's announcement. The question is the impairment enough on what they discussed today? Is it enough for a stock like this to sell off? I mean, these GLP-1s, they are obviously producing quite a bit of revenue for these companies. Obviously, there's margin there. The better companies like Lilly know how to deal with those, with any of those potential snags. I'm wondering, is this a little bit of an overreaction over here when you see this selling off?
I do agree. I think it is a bit of an overreaction by the market. I think that you really need to wait and see how everything comes in together. GLP-1s, as I said, is one aspect of it, but there's a lot going on. There's this whole issue with the PBMs and how they're going to continue to be playing a role in the segment and how important they are in terms of drug negotiations. And so I think this is the market just reacting to the news here and having a quick one. But I think we need to take a step back and really see what the broader impact is on everything going on for this company.
Yeah, these GLP-1s looks like they have protection until sometime around 2036. So I think we can be pretty confident that demand seems like it's only growing as the FDA allows it for other types of issues. So what happens? What's your sort of vision into what a company like Lilly, what's next in their pipeline? What would be the next big thing? 2036 seems like a long time, but I'm a long-term investor, so I'm thinking about what happens beyond 2036.
I think, look, right now the GLP-1s are injectable. I think one area is how do we get it into an oral product? That's something that definitely could be an opportunity. But I think other therapeutic categories that continue to grow, for example, oncology, that's another area of growth. And Eli Lilly probably needs to take a step back and think about this, and I'm sure they are, in terms of as this timeline horizons, where else can they go? Is there an extension of this same therapeutic category, or is it going into these other therapeutic categories?
All right, Syed, thanks so much.